Welcome back to Capital Catch-Up, your inside look at the machinery of Washington. I'm Victor.
And I'm Lenny. It is a blisteringly busy week in January 2026. We are looking at a Congress that is juggling massive spending packages, high-stakes oversight hearings, and a flurry of judicial nominations.
That's right. If you've been browsing the congressional record, specifically Volume 172, numbers 12 through 16, you know the floor has been active from January 16th through the 23rd. But the real headline grabber right now is the sheer amount of money moving through the chamber.
Absolutely. We need to talk about House Resolution 6938. This is the big one, the Appropriations Act for Commerce, Justice, Science, Energy and Water, and Interior and Environment for 2026.
For our listeners who don't speak appropriations, this is a minibus, a bundle of funding bills wrapped into one package to keep major chunks of the government running. It covers everything from FBI funding to national parks and nuclear energy research.
It's interesting, Victor, because this builds on the Consolidated Appropriations Act, House Resolution 7148, which was also in committee markup this week. We're seeing a push to lock in funding levels. And speaking of fiscal responsibility, or the lack thereof, we also saw the introduction of House Resolution 7026, the Fiscal State of the Nation Act.
That one is designed to give lawmakers a sobering look at the country's balance sheet. But Lenny, while the money is important, the political temperature in the committee rooms was scorching this week.
Scorching is an understatement. The House Oversight Committee has been incredibly aggressive. On January 21st, they held a markup regarding resolutions recommending that the House find both former President William J. Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary R. Clinton in contempt of Congress.
This is historic territory. The resolution cites a refusal to comply with subpoenas. We haven't seen a move to hold a former president in contempt like this in modern memory. It suggests that despite being a new year, the partisan battles of the last decade are very much alive and well in 2026.
And that wasn't the only high-profile hearing. The Committee on Oversight also held a session titled Oversight of the Office of Special Counsel Jack Smith. So you have the House targeting the investigators and former leaders simultaneously.
It's a split-screen reality. On one side, you have these highly charged political battles. On the other, you have committees doing the bread-and-butter work that affects your wallet. For example, there was a full committee hearing with health insurance CEOs on January 22nd.
That hearing was critical. We know premiums have been rising. The committee grilled these executives on affordability. It pairs interesting with Senate Bill 275, the Access Act, which focuses specifically on expanding critical care for veterans. It seems healthcare is back on the front burner.
Speaking of the front burner, let's talk about housing. The committee hearing Housing Affordability, Saving the American Dream took place on the 22nd. We're seeing a legislative trend here trying to address the cost of living.
Which brings us to a few specific bills aimed at government efficiency. I noticed House Resolution 7028. This bill requires the Secretary of State to notify Congress before obligating funds for art-related purchases.
I saw that. It sounds like someone in Congress got tired of seeing five-figure invoices for sculptures in embassies. It's a small bill, but it falls into that category of micro-oversight we see often. Similarly, there's House Resolution 7054 regarding non-standard construction designs at the State Department.
It's all about tightening the purse strings on the details. We also have House Resolution 5578, the Expanding Whistleblower Protections for Contractors Act. This is vital. It ensures that the private employees who build our roads or supply our defense systems can speak up about fraud without fear of retaliation.
Shifting gears to the Senate, there has been a steady stream of nominations. The administration is moving fast to fill judicial vacancies. We saw nominations for Nicholas John Ganji for the Southern District of Texas and David Clay Fulkes for the Western District of Arkansas, among many others.
It's a full court press on the judiciary. They are also filling U.S. attorney spots in Maine, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Remember, while the bills get the headlines, these lifetime judicial appointments often have a longer-lasting impact on American life than any single budget cycle.
Very true. Before we wrap up, we should touch on some cultural resolutions. It looks like Congress is feeling appreciative. We have House Resolution 136 and Senate Resolution 83 designating February 2025 and presumably reaffirming for 2026 as Hawaiian Language Month.
Olelo Hawaii Month. It's a nice gesture toward preserving indigenous languages. And looking ahead to summer, Senate Resolution 367 designates July as American-Grown Flower and Foliage Month.
I'm sure the florist's lobby is thrilled. But Lenny, there's one more bill I want to highlight because of the implications for tech and national security. The hearing on assessing U.S. leadership in quantum science and the markup on House Joint Resolution 140 regarding federal lands.
Actually, let's circle back to House Joint Resolution 140. That's a congressional disapproval maneuver, using the Congressional Review Act to overturn an agency rule regarding land withdrawals in Minnesota. It's a classic environment versus industry clash.
And that connects to Senate Bill 2132, the Clear Path Act. While the text is dense, bills like Clear Path usually aim to streamline energy permitting. It's the constant tug of war. How do we build fast without breaking things?
Exactly. And for the families listening, keep an eye on House Resolution 2082, the WISH Act, and House Resolution 1036 regarding dignity and government contracting. These are aiming to improve conditions for the workforce.
So what should our listeners watch for in the next few days?
Watch the floor votes on House Resolution 6938. If that appropriations bundle fails, we could be looking at a partial shutdown or a continuing resolution.
And keep an eye on those contempt resolutions against the Clintons. If those move from committee to the full floor, it will dominate the news cycle for weeks.
It's going to be a bumpy ride. Thanks for listening to Capital Catch-Up.
We'll be back next time to break down the votes. Stay engaged.